Aloha. I want to do a quick follow up to the Mark Sargent question video that I did last night, and really just kind of share where I'm coming from with the whole thing, the whole thing overall. People who follow this channel know exactly where I'm coming from, but indirectly to the whole TV show of Flat Earth that is being played right now. I've given my opinions. I've made multiple videos on the whole back in the day when they were calling, when they were calling themselves in the earlier times of Flat Earth a couple years ago, Flat Earth brass, top brass, and that whole thing. I've already given my examples of or perspectives on, how that whole stuff plays out. And since those last 2 years have progressed, nothing has changed since then. They've just played the same storyline over and over and over again, which is avoiding this whole shill talk by overly focusing on the TV show that is Flat Earth, with the core or the foundation of, until the mainstream picks it up, it doesn't exist, or it won't matter, or as soon as the mainstream picks it up, everything will be okay. That was and still is at the core of the issue that I have with the entire approach of this whole mainstream media nonsense. The mainstream media is the government. The same system that lied to you about the globe in the first place. The mainstream media is the same hand, the same body, the same wing on the same system that is NASA, that is politics, that is the system of haves and have-nots, that is the system of genocide, massacre, control, genetically modified foods, fluoridating your water, the Illuminati, and all that other nonsense that individuals in that Flat Earth TV show claim to not be about. Oh, we're against this, but you're for this, which is the mainstream media. You're against the side effects, the results of the mainstream media, but you're for the promotion of the mainstream media with the help of Flat Earth. That is the most ignorant shit I have ever heard of, ever. If you are banking only on that being the best thing to happen to Flat Earth, you are the most ignorant and the most suspect ass person out there. If you are only focusing on, now, I understand how fragile this whole thing is to walk with, the information of Flat Earth and getting it out there. So I know that. I understand that shit. At the same time, at the core of that knowingness is I don't give one fuck about that, because that is the power, the so-called power in the so-called powers that be perspective. That is giving all of your power away to the mainstream media as if they can do something for you, which they can't and they won't ever. That is not their design. They are not out there to do something for you. So turning Flat Earth into a kindergarten TV show that focuses only on curvature and how NASA lied to us and all of the other kindergarten Flat Earth nonsense that's out there. Not to say nonsense, because it's not nonsense. It's actual observations of reality. Nonsense in the sense that if you only focus on the kindergarten perspective, the kindergarten aspect of Flat Earth, then it's nonsense, because you are missing out on the entire storyline, the entire school system that is the lie in the first place, that is the power grid in the first place, which includes first and foremost, the mainstream media. Your little TV show game is up. There is no time anymore. There hasn't been any time. People have already been killed. People have already been genocided and massacred. The game has already been installed into children. The poisons have already been installed into your food by the same commercial assholes who are making money through the mainstream media. If you are selling Flat Earth as a TV show and saying that we only need to focus on the science of it, then you and not look at the implications of Flat Earth as a whole, the origins of why, not just what, why. Why is the bigger question here? Why? And that why is 0.00001% of the Flat Earth TV show talks. Everything in the so-called Flat Earth community is focused on the what. Does the what not matter? Of course not. Of course it matters. Of course the what of the lack of curvature, the what of the NASA lies, the what of the gravity and evolution and dinosaurs and all that other stuff. But all that is in the 0.0001% kindergarten of the entire system of deception that is the heliocentric power grid. If you are selling that to the masses, if you are selling that to the mainstream as the focus, as the message that you don't want to get diluted, which is what I'm guessing. That's what I get when I hear, as long as the Flat Earth message doesn't get diluted. What the hell does that mean? What is the message of Flat Earth? Because what I get out of it is your message of Flat Earth and the mainstream message of Flat Earth that's converted in a television show perspective is the what of the curvature, the what of NASA, the what of Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's all fine and dandy. But if you only talk about the what, you are actually worse than the what of the mainstream media, the what of the politics and the government itself. Because you are playing to be for the flat earth and for so-called forward progress. You're playing a role. You're not actually sitting in a space of challenging the why of flat earth, the why of this program. The confirmation of that is putting all of your eggs in the mainstream basket as if that is the end all be all of flat earth. If you continue to play the game of once flat earth goes mainstream, then everything will be okay, that fairy tale, if you continue playing that game, you are actually setting up the game of the next mind control program. You are the leader of that next mind control program. Because it's not about the what. This is the problem that I've had with flat earth from the beginning. I didn't start out making videos talking about flat earth. I was talking about the government, the mainstream media. I came from that first, then saw how flat earth fit into this whole storyline. A lot of these flat earth YouTube channels out here right now that have huge followings started out with flat earth, only flat earth, the so-called science scientific observation of flat earth, the what of flat earth kindergarten, pretty much. If you only come from that perspective, you are actually setting up the foundation for the mainstream media to just commercialize flat earth and sell whatever agenda they want to the masses. The agendas that I'm observing that are already being set in place are the alien agenda, this simulation theory agenda, which Truth is Stranger Than Fiction did a video in reference to Mark Sargent's connection to that whole simulation theory. I linked in the last video on a comment. Might be worth checking out if you want to see some more information and perspectives on this subject. But back to it. All of these other agendas, CERN, SpaceX, all of these, whatever's going to be next, however this implosion is going to play out, it will happen by people allowing it to happen because they never questioned the why of these storylines, because they only question the what of these storylines. That is the mechanism of the mainstream media, to get you focused on the emotional body, to get you focused on only the TV show of the information. You never get to go to the depths of why Sandy Hook is out there, why 9/11 was out there, why Vietnam happened, why, all this other. You only hear the what of Vietnam, the what of Sandy Hook, the what of 9/11, and then case closed. That is exactly what the TV show Flat Earth channels are doing right now. They're only focusing on the what. That is the mainstream tactic. And it's an extreme avoidance factor that's involved in that whole back and forth. I responded to some comments in the last video, and I had thought about it like this before, but I never broke it down to words. But pretty much they avoided actually Patricia and Mark have avoided this whole shill talk by just playing the nicest people in the flat universe. Oh, we're just nice. That's not how you address something that is as deep as being labeled as CIA and so forth. You actually provide some substance. You don't step to the side and say, well, we're just the amazing flat earth fairy tale people who just want to talk about flat earth. That's not getting to the core. That's just avoiding the entire issue. I have a problem with that because that's the actual tactic and tactics of the mainstream media, of politics, of the system as a whole. It's very fucking suspect. And it's been going on for a couple of years now. Sidestepping, acting like the questions aren't out there just because you have a sweet personality or whatever it is, just playing whatever role it is you play on your television shows. This is not about your damn personality. Flat Earth and the lies that have been told about the heliocentric to the people of Flat Earth, it ain't got shit to do with the personality of the individual. Ultimately, it really doesn't, in the long run, it's not going to have anything to do with the what of Flat Earth. All the curvature, all that stuff already exists. It exists without your TV show. It exists without your tests and your experiments. It already exists out there. What's existing in your face right now, and some people don't really see this because it's not part of their world. What's existing right now for people who are living homeless on the street and struggling and eating all that genetically modified food, being forced to eat all that meat and all that destructive stuff that's commercialized by the mainstream media, by the way. Those are the actual things that are happening to people on the boots on the ground as a result of people only focusing on the what and never getting to the deeper understanding, and overstanding of why this stuff exists. The information that I share on my channel is focused on why we have been lied to, why the system exists in the first place, why any of these programs are directed at particular groups of people, why that program is being expanded, why all of these other stories are being promoted in your face. Why is Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about simulation theory? Why is Brian Cox talking about CERN? Why is Brian Greene talking about quantum levitation? Why is the astro-theoretical physicists why are they talking about whatever it is? Why? Those are the questions that help you get to understanding, and overstanding the actual intent of the system. If you package with a bow flat earth from the scientific perspective, at best, you're just setting it up for them to do whatever it is they want to do. And that's exactly what's happening with this whole flat earth TV show. Let's focus on the message of flat earth bullshit. The message of flat earth is what, Mark Sargent? The message of flat earth is what, Patricia? The message, to be clear, this is for every flat earth YouTube channel. And some of these flat earth YouTube channels don't really have to go into it because they speak about the message that flat earth reveals behind the TV show, behind the kindergarten of flat earth. They actually speak on the message as the core of this whole, they speak on the why as the core of utilizing flat earth as a part of this program. When you're selling flat earth as the only thing that matters, you're selling a next agenda kindergarten to the masses and gift wrapping it for the government, for the mainstream media, which is one and the same, which were the individuals, the actual powerhouse that lied to you in the first place. What the hell are you asking or waiting for your slave? What are you asking your slave masters for? This goes back to the whole catch-22 of the information getting out and so on and so forth. Ultimately, the information getting out really doesn't matter because people are only going to change themselves. And if the information gets out, packaged by the mainstream media and delivered to slaves, because they've only focused on the what and they never got to the why, then you will have slaves on a plane. You've just packaged the next agenda. When people are talking about the why of flat earth, they're talking about removing the chains that have resulted to this enslavement of the people of flat earth. When you only focus on the what of flat earth, you are maintaining the chains that have resulted from the lies as a whole. Not just the flat earth lie, not just the heliocentric lies that are out there. All of the lies are being hidden under this wonderful kindergarten TV show fairy tale of flat earth. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, all of the forerunners, the first people. Who were the first people to break the story of flat Earth? Math Powerland, Eric DeBay. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Now let's go back to our slave work. Let's go back to the slave system, because now we are all aware of the flat Earth story. Now we can all go back to work because everything's going to change. Really? How is that going to change? What's going to change? And once the mainstream catches on, or they already are aware of this information, once they start selling that story the way they want to sell it, what kind of change do you think is actually going to happen? Do you think it will be any different from what they have already done since the beginning of the so-called mainstream? Will it be any different? You'd have to be the most ignorant asshole in the world to think that the mainstream media is going to suddenly change overnight because now they are aware of flat Earth. No. They're going to utilize it, just like you said in your video. They're going to utilize it as a talking point, as a projector to thrust their next agenda into the forefront of human perspective. Whatever it is that the scientism community is going to do with this flat Earth information will be projected by the mainstream media. This is at the essence of why I'm making these two videos. The video I did last night and this video right now is because if you are walking in to that system thinking that it's only about this, the information getting out, it's only about, how wonderful everything is, you're actually enemy number one. Because I don't think you're that stupid. In fact, I know you're not that stupid. I know it because you are watching all of these videos. You are aware of the so-called truther information. You're aware of Sandy Hook. You're aware of 9/11. You're aware of all that stuff out there. You ain't stupid. All these kindergarten flat Earth channels out there approaching this as if it's a damn TV show. Don't play stupid. You know exactly what's going on. You know exactly how it's going to play out once the mainstream media catches it. Because like I said, and I'll end it on this, you can have slaves on a globe, they can be on a pyramid, they can be on a flat plane, they can be in a video game. Does it matter where they are if they are still slaves? Answering and asking questions in relation to the why of that program is how you break the chains and actually address the system itself instead of begging the system to give you validation. Waiting for the mainstream media to pick up flat Earth and hoping that it picks up flat Earth is no different than these melanated political pundits who are looking for validation from the mainstream media, from the politics who doesn't give one shit about so-called black political pundits or politicians or so on and so forth. They're using them to sell a particular agenda, no different than Obama was used to shut people up after George Bush, to quiet everything down. All of these fake ass politicians and pundits that are out there telling you about global warming and Donald Trump and all that other stuff. This is a mind control program. It's not limited to just the what's of this storyline. You got to start asking why. Not to get into the racism program any further than I have to, because people, even I have some hesitation right now speaking about it. Why? Because it's difficult for people to even hear this shit. Excuse me. It's difficult because it's not a part of their experience. They don't see it like that. Because they should focus on the what. You know what the what is? The what is climate change. The what is protecting the earth and equality. Equality for women's equality. And all this other equality. That's the real stuff. We don't need to focus on all that old racist stuff. Come on, get over it. That's basically what you're saying. Anytime somebody's talking about reverse racism and all that other stuff, you're basically saying, get over it. Talking about the only what of flat earth is basically saying, get over the why of flat earth. Just get over it. We need to move on. We need to just let the mainstream media, we need to wait for them to approve, to give us to accept us in their media and add credibility to all the work that we've put into Flat Earth Kindergarten. They'll do that for you. And then as soon as they're done, just like the so-called black political pundits, they will kick your ass to the side and you won't be, you'll be like a little piece of shit on the bottom of a boot. All right now, they'll use the hell out of you because of all the work you've done. All the information about the what of flat earth that you put out there. They will use you to the umpteenth degree. Just like they use slaves. Just like they use the indigenous people to build this country. They will use you and kick you to the curb. Why? Because you're too damn ignorant for giving your power away to them in the first place. Because you were too ignorant to speak on the why of the story. Whether that's on purpose or not. I don't know. This is why I'm asking you these questions right now. This is why you have been approached or labeled as shill and all this other stuff in the past. You're not going to prove yourself otherwise until you actually speak on what you are about. You are not speaking on what you are about by avoiding the issue. You're actually making it worse. So that's pretty much what I have for this video. Yeah. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, from all my relations, peace, love, and harmony.